Hey everybody, Bart here, and I just wanted to share with you my top 5 stretches for runners. The weather's been awesome as of late. I've started hiking and I've really been putting time on my feet, so I'm having to be mindful and really stretch if I want to keep hammering at it the same way that I've been doing. Now, I'm going to give you these stretches in order. It's a sequence. It's just a good sequence that you could do together, and it might make it easier for you to make a routine and habit of doing it. Now, the first stretch is back extension, where I'm taking my shoulders together, tightening up my glutes, lifting my chest, looking up, so I'm shrugging my shoulders, and I'm supporting the back of the head by lifting these muscles up. Now, after I've had a chance to really lift, really extend the spine, I'll come back, shake out the ears. Now, we've talked about this ad nauseum, quad stretch, standing quad stretch. So you could use a yoga strap, you could use any strap, a towel, stretching out the quad, taking your time. This is gonna fire up that left ankle. It's gonna have to start working dynamic stability. And if you can, maybe we'll work both hands to that one foot, getting a nice stretch for the spine, switching sides. So taking a hold of the ankle outside the foot, so around instead of inside. Try, oh, so tight today. Stretching the quad, again pulling the shoulders back, again tightening up the glutes, lifting the chest. So these two stretches work really well together. Shaking it out. Now, I could have done this one second, but I could go second or third. Working a Romanian. So I'm pushing back on my thighs. I'm not just sitting my hips back just like a deadlift. My hips are moving more horizontally. I'm unlocked in the knees and I'm pushing the thighs away. So I'm trying to get space between each of the bones in my back. I'm trying to get taller. And I'll work up. Now, I've worked the stomach, I've worked lower back, worked the top of the thigh. We're gonna start to work inside the thigh, so working into a lunge. Now, I could do a basic lunge here. So I'm pushing this right hip forward. I'm pressing back on that right heel, and I'm starting to activate left thigh, left hip. Now I can be up on the toes, and I can focus a little bit more, pushing the hips underneath. This isn't how I'm gonna lunge. This is a stretch. If I was lunging, I'd be much lower. Now I can always drop to the knee and work my lunge here. As I get more flexible, I'll work down towards the floor. And I'm moving a little bit quicker than I would if I was stretching my own body. Now, I never stretch before I run. Now, if I walk for a good 10, 15 minutes and then I do some light stretches, that's great because my tissues are already warm. I don't just start here. I walk, I let my tissues warm up, and then I'll stretch a little bit. But typically I save most of my stretching for after the run. I don't show up to the run so beat up that I have to stretch. I show up already fairly limber. Now working that lunge on the other side. So I start stretching my calf, and I've picked this one because I can do both. I can hit the hip flexor and the calf. I don't have to stop and do a calf stretch. Make sense? All right. Now, again, I can lift up to the toes and kind of tilt my pelvis a little bit more underneath, or I could drop towards the floor, working into that lower lunge, commonly referred to as lizard pose. Myself up. All right. Now, I just did a calf stretch. I could pick number 5 and say, I'm gonna do a bent over calf stretch, or I could do my cradle the baby, where I lift this hip up, or, which is what I had originally had in mind, I can get this 4 square position. So first things first, if you're going to pick 4 square position, which is what I'm advocating for, have something that you can use to balance. That way you can focus on the stretch instead of just the balancing. So I'm going to cross right leg over, and then this is going to work to the outer hip. We already hit the inner hip, we hit the top of the thigh, we hit the lower back, we even got the calves, and we got the spine itself. And so this one I can always work towards the floor for greater intensity. It's terrible, in a good way. One of my favorite stretches. And so this one, again, my options were lifting up, a slight bend, or a 4 square sit. I add the press. That's my own little device, my own little addition to the stretch. All right. So let's review. I had my back extension. I had my Romanian right here. I had my standing quad stretch right here. I had my standing or kneeling lunge up here. I had my 4 square sit. And if I wanted to add one extra, I might do my bent over calf stretch. Now this one I have to bend the left knee if I'm stretching the right foot. I hinge my hips and I'm working left hand to right foot, reaching right arm out to the side. Now I'm engaged in my core. Oh, it's a fabulous stretch. And it makes you feel some type of way, like you're a proper gentleman or lady. All right, these stretches are for my runners, but they're good for everybody. So I hope that you practice them. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen what the usage of a yoga strap might look like, this is not a yoga strap, but I'm going to ask you to entertain in your mind what it would look like if I had one. Or I'll lasso the ankle if I can't get this quad stretch with my hand. I can also use a fluffy bath towel. All right, so look for more videos coming later today. We'll have yoga at 4:40 on Instagram Live. I hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourself.